Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about task 2 writing in the IELTS and just some basic ideas that you need to have very clear in your mind in order to write a successful essay. So let's talk about that. Hi, my name's Phil and you're watching the IELTS Grind. So we're talking about task 2 writing today, and there's really two very important things that you need to consider before you even start writing. So let's imagine you're sitting in the exam, you've read the question and you're sitting there wondering what to do. So the first thing you need to do is, after you've read the question, you need to make a plan. If you do not plan your essay, then there's going to be a big problem when you're trying to write it. So when we're planning our essay, we are thinking about two parts of the marking in particular. So you're graded for your task 2 writing in 4 ways. The first is called task response. So this is basically how well you understood the question and what you had to do. The next grading criteria is about coherency and cohesion. So this is how well your answer is sort of linked together and how easy it is to follow it. And then we talk about lexical resource, which is to do with vocabulary and using it in the right way. And then, of course, grammar. So for your planning part, you're really concentrating on the first two, task response and coherency and cohesion. So let's talk about task response to begin with. So basically what we're talking about here is, do you know what you need to do? And do you do all the things that the examiner is expecting you to do? So if you look at your question, the first thing to think about is, what type of essay question is it? And to be honest, there are only really 3 groups of essays. Do you know what they are? What type of essay questions could you be asked in the IELTS? Think about it for a second. Okay, so for me, there are only 3 types, 3 groups, let's say. The first one is called an opinion essay. This is when you get a question and they ask you something like, to what extent do you agree or disagree? This is clearly asking you what you think. So you're giving your opinion. The entire essay is about what you think, not about what other people think, but what you think. So that's one category of question. Another type of essay question you might get is when they ask you to discuss both sides and give your own opinion. So this is what I call a both sides and opinion essay. So you're asked to explore 2 points of view on an issue, and you're just talking about why somebody may have that point of view, and then at the end of the essay you say what you think. And this is the closest type of essay you'll get to a traditional essay in a university, where it's nice and balanced. And the last group of essay questions, there can be different variations, but I generally call them 2-question essays, simply because you're asked to do 2 things. So a popular example of this could be discuss the causes of this and offer some solutions. So this can be a problem solution essay. But there are other examples, advantages, disadvantages, effect, solution. Sometimes you're just asked something like, to what extent do you agree, and can you think of some solutions? So in this case, you would give your opinion to answer one question and then talk about solutions to answer the second question. So those are 3 structures that you need to learn, and that's quite simple. There's only 3. So when we move on and we're talking about task response, what we need to do is think about the structure of our essay and make sure we get all the right things in the right places. So if we take any type of essay, it's made of 3 parts. The first part is the introduction. Then after the introduction, it's what we call the body of the essay. And after the body of the essay, we have a conclusion. So if you think about this as kind of like a sandwich, in the introduction, we say what we're going to say. In the body of the essay, we say it. And in the conclusion, we say what we've said. That's how an essay generally works. With the IELTS, it has a slightly special structure. So in the introduction, it's always the same for every single essay type. The first sentence, you should rephrase the question. So the information you get in the rubric, the question part, the topic, let's say, you should rephrase that. And in the second part of the introduction, it's normally 2 sentences. The second part is what is known as the thesis, but it's what I call the mission statement. This is a bit like a company. You know, a company, they give the world a mission. They tell them what they're going to do, what the company is about. So this second sentence in the introduction is your mission statement. You have to tell the examiner exactly what they're going to read about in the following essay. The reason we do that, examiners are incredibly stupid. If you don't tell them exactly what you're going to do, they will not understand. So for all of the essay types, you need to tell the reader exactly what's going to happen. Sometimes that involves giving your opinion straight in the introduction. Sometimes you will write something like, in this essay, I will discuss both sides of this opinion and or this issue and give my own opinion. Or if it's a 2-question essay, in this essay, I will discuss the causes of this issue and offer some solutions. So in the body of the essay, for all of the essays types, you're going to write about 2 paragraphs. Sometimes with an opinion essay, you may write 3, but generally 2 paragraphs. And each of the paragraphs are going to be talking about your thesis. So if you're talking about an opinion essay, the 2 paragraphs are all about what you think. If you're talking about a both sides an opinion essay, one of the paragraphs will be about one point of view. The other paragraph will be about the other point of view. And in a 2-question essay, one paragraph will be answering one question and the other paragraph will be answering the other question. Then we get to the conclusion. So this is the part where generally we have to say what we've said. There's one exception. So the first thing you need to do is to tell the examiner, this is my conclusion. Why do we do that? Well, mainly because they're stupid, but it's because your last paragraph is not your conclusion unless you clearly tell the examiner that it is. What do I mean? It's as simple as saying in conclusion or to conclude. So as long as you start your conclusion with that, it's what we call signalling the examiner. So a phrase like in conclusion, then we know this is the conclusion part of your essay. So in the conclusion, what you need to do is to say what you've said. So in the opinion essay, you're going to restate your opinion and briefly summarize the reasons why. These are the main points you've made in your body paragraphs. In the both sides an opinion essay, it's a little bit different. You have to say in conclusion and then you state your opinion for the first time. And in the 2-question essays, this is where you say in conclusion and you summarize the information you've given in the body essay, the body of the essay. So it's really important for you to understand these basic ideas of why we structure the essay in this way. The introduction clearly is to tell the reader what the rest of the essay will be talking about. The body of the essay is your evidence or you exploring your thesis or the idea that you're writing about. And your conclusion is to summarize that idea or, in the case of both sides an opinion, to finally give your opinion. If you can get this clearly in your mind, then you will have no problem getting a great score in the IELTS. So if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and also if you have any questions for us, leave us a comment in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.